I'm Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine, and on today's Planting with Pine, we are at Wallitsch Garden Center, where it all began, talking about getting into the garden with those cold crops. Some people say cold crops, but basically we're talking about those early spring or fall cool season crops that you can put in the garden: broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, collards, and kale. And we have Jeff Wallitsch here. And Jeff, it's right where we started here with all those cool season crops. When do we need to put them in? When should we harvest?
You want to go ahead and plant your cold crops now. You can harvest the leaf lettuces. You can pretty much harvest anytime, just whenever they're ready. But a lot of like your broccoli and collards and Brussels sprouts, they have a maturity date. So just have to look at the tag, usually around like the 60 to 70 days, and then you can go ahead and harvest those.
So later in October, maybe even into November?
Even November, yeah. The cooler the weather, the better production you're going to have on your vegetables.
Is there anything different in the process when you did this in the spring and the fall?
It's just it's the opposite. We're going from cold to warm, and now we're going from warm to cold. But a lot of times you're going to have a better production in the fall.
And I mentioned a lot of those cold crops on the sign, but what else can we do?
Carrots are one thing that you can do. There's also lots of green beans. You can do that in spring or fall. You got your beets and also some turnips that you can do.
And I walked by this right here, this colorful little guy, and I asked you what it was, and maybe not necessarily eating this one.
Right. This is an ornamental pepper. And this one, it's really cool because you can use it for fall. You can incorporate it into your garden just as for something colorful instead of all the greens. But I wouldn't recommend eating it. It is really hot, but if you want to, you can.
Once again, thank you very much, Jeff Wallitsch, for the expertise. And coming up next week, if your yard was burnt out from the summertime, we're going to try to revitalize that. We're going to talk about seed and fertilizing to get that lawn back nice and green.